Hey everyone, in this video I want to kick off our creative strategy series. If you're watching this is going to be episode number 1 of the first season. What we're going to do is we're going to break down the brands that we've worked with over the last 16 months. We're going to share the content that they have, the content that we've made for them, the insights that we've learned, and the direction we think the brands can take and should take to scale, whether it's their content collection, their content strategy, new audiences that they can unlock, new insights that they can collect, things of that nature. Anything that comes to media buying, creative strategy, and kind of content. So the first episode will be a brand called All About Vibe. Quick background, that was the first brand that I ever worked at. Was there for about 7 years. We did some cool things like there's a Guinness World Record for the largest pillow. A lot of the idea of creative launch was incepted at All About Vibe. The content collection system using customer UGC, the concept testing, the iteration testing, all was developed kind of there as we made tens of thousands of ads. But now with the team at Creative Launch, we've systematized it and made a more robust and better version, and actually an ability to kind of create anything that can be created with the content that you have rather than just a UGC mashup. So in these series of videos, Liam, who's our creative director at Creative Launch, will be going deep into all accounts, and you'll be hearing from him, and I'll just be making an intro, giving a background on each of the accounts. So hope you enjoy. If there's a brand that you want to see us do a creative strategy breakdown on, comment down below. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Liam. I'm an editor/strategist at Creative Launch, and today we're just doing another intro into our content strategy blueprint series, where we take a look at our current and past clients' content and just talk about how it could be leveraged better. Today, we're taking a look at one of our current clients, All About Vibe. For some context, they are a custom pillow company. Basically, you would upload a photo of like your dog, and you would receive something like this pillow in the mail. Today, I'm just gonna be talking about some findings from working on this style of content because it's very specific, very emotional and reactionary based, and just talking about some concepts that could be easily made with their content and also some more experimental concepts that could be made down the line. So let's take a look at their ad account. Here we have their ad library. First, I want to talk about what I'm seeing that's working. I've identified 3 different types of formats. First, we have these single story kind of personal videos.
I got this for my son before he went away to a week-long camp. He was excited to go, but hated to leave.
So videos like that are basically like prefacing that I'm getting this pillow for a family member. Here's kind of the reaction and the process of me getting that pillow. Next, we're seeing success with these UGC mashup videos, which are basically just stitching together raw, genuine reactions to show the emotional appeal of the product.
I cannot believe they do this.
And next we have the most popular style, which is videos surrounding gifting, just talking about how this gift is kind of like better than anything else you give because you're basically permeating a memory for someone else. So the styles of content in there are definitely effective and show off product's benefit in a very plain manner. But I think there are some ways that the content could be leveraged even better. I'll just get into like what is lacking. I think there could be more authentic personal gifting stories, kind of things that start with an emotional reaction to the gift. Like let's say you're giving it to your grandma. It starts with a video of her crying, reacting to the pillow. And then the body of the video would then kind of explain why the pillow is meaningful to her while explaining the All About Vibe process. So someone can, watch that beginning of the video and be like, wow, I want to make my grandma cry. How can I do that? That's what the rest of the video would explain. Next, I think the content could just be bridged into more experimental formats, specifically objection style and before/after ads. What I mean by objection style is things that kind of start like this with like maybe a TikTok comment or something just calling out an objection a consumer would have. So like for this, it's the price of this underwear. You start it off with that, and then throughout the video, you're just kind of peppering in benefits, like counter proposals for why that's so expensive, saying like, oh, it's way softer than cotton underwear. It's lasted me over 1.5 years. You're basically just making counters to the biggest claims your consumers are making. And for the before/after style ads, what I'm thinking there is more videos leveraged around, hey, here's what the photo looks like when I'm submitting it, and here's the final product. I know whenever I was making the ads, I always wish for more content like that. So that might be something you guys could bridge into. And I think you could get a little more creative with the gifting angles, maybe doing something like a gift for the whole family. This could target someone that's like having decision paralysis. Maybe they have like 5 to 6 different siblings and they don't know what to get each one. Maybe you just get one big custom pillow that's taking a shared memory or someone that you had lost and being like, hey, all you have to do is buy this one gift and you're covering all your bases for the whole family. Or more like behind the scenes of crafting the pillow before it's gifted. Like, I know that's something I would love to play with when making content for you guys, by taking like a video, behind the scenes video of like the pillow being crafted, and then later in the video you show that pillow actually being gifted to the recipient. So it's kind of like more of a full story. So now I just want to talk about how you can take like your winners, which are just the best performing ads in your account, and milk the success out of them. Usually that's just by changing one of 3 variables, which would be the hook, the visuals used in the video, or the structure of the video, which is basically just the order that you present your talking points in. I'll start off with the hook. Let's say your winner has a hook like this, which is just like a reaction of someone being like, oh my gosh, how did you do this? Maybe you want to test out a different style of hook. So you do like a personal story pattern instead, starting with like someone just talking to their camera being like, I lost my dad last year, but now I can hug him every night because I have this pillow. Or another thing you could do is like a gifting setup style of pattern. So you're like, this gift made my whole family cry. And then the entire body of the video just shows people crying and reacting to the pillow in a very emotional way. And just like emphasizing that this is the most meaningful gift that you can give. Another style of hook you could do is like a problem to solution kind of pattern, where you're like, it's hard to buy for someone. Well, not anymore. This custom pillow works great for anyone. Now for the next variable, let's say your winning ad has a lot of like split screen elements showing like the emotional reaction versus like an explanation of what the pillow is. Instead, you could swap those split screens out for more of like a before versus after pattern, where like maybe you show reaction to like someone getting just a standard photo gift, then compare that with the reaction of someone receiving your pillow. Or like I explained earlier, using more content that shows off kind of like a behind the scenes. You could show someone choosing their photo, then show the behind the scenes of the pillow being made, and then show someone actually reacting to it. I think this right here could have a lot of value. And if you tested that out and saw that it was a winner, then you could just continue to utilize this pattern throughout your ads. And then a big one, this would be more of a structural redo to the entire ad, which would just be maybe you tested an ad and it did pretty well. Do you feel like the talking points could be ordered in a better way? So instead of doing like gift reveal to emotional moment, you start with identifying a problem, like doing a shopping struggle, to discovering the pillow, to emphasizing how easy it was to order, and then showing the reaction. So there's like a different kind of journey pattern there. Or maybe you're finding that a lot of your consumers are questioning how the pillow is made, and like if this is just like some factory slop that no care has gone into it. Maybe you replace this with a quality journey pattern where you show like the photo being uploaded, and you show the pillows like American made, have all the people in your like warehouse, all the steps going through it, showing that there's actual love being put behind the product, and then showing off the premium quality once the person receives the pillow. Overall, what you're just trying to test here is, once you have a winner, you want to figure out what the winning element really is, whether it was the hook, visual, or just the way you structured the information. So you can do all these tests and then find that winning element. And once you have that, you just apply that format or component to all of your ads going forward. Now I'm just going to do a quick run through of All About Vibes UGC. Pretty much everything is these reactionary style videos. We have it organized here into like who the recipient is, like either teenager or reaction from like an older family member, excited reactions, surprised reactions. Since they're all reactions, you kind of know exactly what your video is going to look like. It's going to be like playing off human emotions. But then there's also Billow style videos in here, which are more just like influencers kind of just talking, giving you basically talking points to segment the reactions. And I'll go into that right now as I show an example ad I made for All About Vibe. So here's an ad I made for All About Vibe. I'll just play parts of it and then kind of just explain my decision process there.
You can take him to college with you.
Look how cute he is. What in the world?
So the idea behind this hook is we decided we wanted to target people that are children that are going off to college and they're going to miss their pet, this custom pillow is a great way to like send them to college with their pet. So very clear target audience off the bat.
All About Vibe turns your most precious photos into something you can actually hold, hug, and have with you everywhere you go.
She'll always be upside down in your bed.
So the idea there is, and the other ads we made them, we usually led with the reaction. But what I found is I think people need to be more familiar with the product. When it's like a custom product like this, you want to be very clear what that is in like the first 10 seconds of your ad. So we have this like warehouse footage sharing, like turning your precious photos into something you can hold, hug, and have with you everywhere you go. It's like, all right, that's very evident that this is a pillow now.
Best thing ever.
Whether it's your child going to college, missing a beloved pet, or just wanting to feel closer to someone you love.
This is like a section I try to include in almost all of the All About Vibe ads, just showing off like the versatility, like you can please your kid that's going off to college, someone, you know, that just lost a pet, or maybe you have like a grandma or a mom like lost their husband and they want to feel closer to them. You can get them this pillow.
You love.
It is a great, unique gift idea for anybody. Just upload a picture onto their website and
Go check them out today.
The last session kind of speaks it out for itself, just again, leveraging those emotional reactions, then just giving a quick synopsis of how the process works, making it seem very simple. Just upload your photo, get your custom pillow. Next, I just want to briefly touch on how you can take very like singular content like reactions and stretch that out into different formats. I'll start with the before after format, which has a lot of potential with All About Vibes content. You start with like a transformation hook, being like tired of your photos sitting on your phone, watch them come to life. So immediately you're targeting a pain point, like people have all these photos on their phone that they feel like they never do anything with. So that's kind of the before. The after would then be huggable memory pillows, like physical connection to your loved ones, kind of being like, yeah, you could keep the photo on your phone, but why not bridge it into a more permanent medium? Another one that would be very easy to do is taking those single story formats. I know in their content, they have some videos of people saying that like their son recently lost their dog, so they got them this pillow. You would just take like that audio and plug in like reactions of just like kids opening up a pillow of a dog and crying. You can basically like take these unrelated elements and put them together to create like one cohesive narrative. And we have the objections format, which I already kind of touched on. You could start off with something like just another photo GIF, watch what makes this difference. And then immediately you start off with some counterproof like to the objection. Like it's not just a photo, it's handmade in the USA, made of premium materials. We have thousands of 5-star reviews. And then you get into more of the value, like emotional connection maintained, lasting quality and impact, and then just do some risk removal with like the overall objection being like, see why over 28,000 customers trust us to preserve their most precious memories. Just giving it more social proof. That's usually how I like to organize the objection ads, is you start with an objection and then you hit them with the social proof. Just want to give a better breakdown of what an objection style ad looks like by showing you part of this ad we made for an underwear brand called Shinesty. Their price objection was it's like $28 for a pair of underwear. So we called that out in the TikTok comment here to like kind of give it that relatable element that like people are having these questions about it. And here is our counter argument. So I'll just play that through.
The difference between these and the store brand is
I used to also wear baggy cotton boxer briefs that would stretch out over time and start bunching, sagging, and riding up.
My wife bought me these as a joke, and now they're basically all I can wear.
They're made out of this stuff called micro modal. It's way softer than cotton.
My pairs have lasted me for over a year and a half.
Yeah, so you get the gist there. Start off with an objection, then kind of target the competitor, being like, my old underwear was so bad, always riding up. Then get to why these are so expensive. They don't deal with those problems. They're way softer than cotton. Pairs last a long time. Just again, peppering in those counter proposals. Now, I just want to show another idea of how you can take reactionary content and breathe some more life into it. Here's an ad we made for Paint Your Life, which is a custom painting brand, which has a lot of similar content to All About Vibe. So this would be totally doable with their content.
Oh my God, I literally cannot get over that.
This company called Paint Your Life, and they do hand-painted paintings.
The quality is just insane. He's a world-class artist.
There is a choice of a ton of different artists. You get to choose slightly different styles.
This was like one of their best performers in their account, and my reasoning there is I think this really shows up the like handcrafted, heartfelt quality, just showing like these different artists making the paintings, giving it that human element, saying you can like choose from different world-class artists while also showing off like clear signs of the product. I guess I was surprised this was our top performer because it has a lack of reactions. There's some like reactions spiced throughout, but mainly this is focused on the product itself and the quality that goes into it. So I'm wondering an interesting angle for All About Vibe would be showing more like warehouse footage, maybe like small interviews with the people that are making the pillow, just to show that there's like that social proof element on the side of the people that are actually creating the product. So now I just want to get into some potential concept ideas, first starting with more executable concepts, things you can make right now from the content you currently have. Starting with this is the Memory Connection series. This is kind of what All About Vibe has been doing, but here's a more like structured approach. I'm thinking you're targeting people with parents with children that are away from home, people coping with loss and long distance relationships. And you would do that by having a spokesperson for each story, kind of showing, maybe emphasizing their struggles, but then showing how this pillow created like a deeper emotional investment. And you're just demonstrating that this gift has like a lasting impact, using key quotes from your transcript like, "Now I can take you to college with me. This has brought me and my family a lot of comfort. I can hug him every day." I think it'd be a good idea to start these videos with the emotional reaction, then again, getting more into the story behind each reaction. Then this idea is something I've been touching on, which is showing kind of the full journey of receiving the gift, starting with the person selecting their photo. Maybe then it gets sent to the warehouse POV where they're making the pillow, and then you get to see the reaction / like maybe the recipient giving a few words about the pillow. This would be pretty easy to do with the content they already have in there. They would just need more behind the scenes footage of the pillow being crafted. But yeah, this would just demonstrate social proof, the ease of ordering, and then also just the emotional impact of receiving the pillow. This idea, crafted with love, might start to sound like a broken record here, but I think it would be great to then leverage more like behind the scenes footage, kind of just humanizing the brand and doing like a slight showcase of the people that are actually making the pillows. They could even take this time to address quality concerns, making this kind of like an objection style ad. But yeah, you just want to build trust with the product quality by showing the people that are actually creating the product. Here's a more experimental idea that you would have to probably execute in a future ad campaign. You would need some additional content, but I call it the memory wall installation. Basically, this could either be in public or online in some format, some form that allows people to share their most precious photos and the stories behind them, the people that are involved. And then it would be a kind of a surprise to those people. Maybe they give those stories out to some kind of like public forum or something online, and then the pillow is sent to them and you get to see their emotional reaction to everything, kind of just like creating that surprise element. And it would also document kind of like the photo submission process. But yeah, I'd be happy to discuss this more. I think this could just be like a cool way to do like a social experiment while also promoting your product. But yeah, I think All About Vibe has tons of content potential. I think anything that is leveraging human emotions and like personal stories like that is always going to do well, especially with custom products. People are going to see all these people crying and having these like great gift reactions, and they're like, yeah, I'm definitely getting this for my mom for Christmas, her birthday, whatever. I think there's a lot more avenues you could take with this content by leveraging it into different formats like I spoke of. And yeah, if you would like to continue to kind of hear my ideas or maybe partner on some of those concept ideas I had, I'd love to continue to speak further. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.